Hello gamers, benignchaos here, shooting my mouth off about the latest week in gaming and basically what I found the most interesting. Right off the bat, the thing that got me the most excited this last week is hearing about Dragon's Crown being handled by Atlas now. This is instead of Ignition. I don't have much experience with Ignition published games, aside from Muramasa, but the localization on Muramasa wasn't great, and I am a long-standing fan of Atlas. I've bought a lot of their games, at least games that they've published, as well as the Persona games, and they're just localization is always great. You can always expect a color manual, great pre-order bonuses, usually a soundtrack to come with it. Translations in-game are usually quite good, whereas if any of you that have played Muramasa, I'm sure you know the translations weren't very good in that game. Huge chunks of speech were taken out in translation, and you could hear it because they'd speak in Japanese, and you'd see the subtitles, and the spoken section would be much, much shorter. It was obvious they were cutting out things. And a lot of people said this as well about the game when they played it, and it's wasn't only apparent in the length, but also because certain things they said were just odd. But hearing about Dragon's Crown coming via Atlas is very exciting for me, so I'm really looking forward to that. That's coming out on PS3 and Vita. The only bad thing is that it's pushed back because of this. It's pushed back to 2013, which I am totally willing to accept for an Atlas localization. So that's awesome. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was an indie game developer that I just found over this last week called Konjak at konjak.org. I'm sorry if you're hearing noise. My brother's playing music loud, as he always does. So the developer is Konjak. You can go to his website at konjak.org. His full name is Joachim Sandberg. I might be saying that wrong, but he makes all these games essentially on his own, and he's got some really awesome ones on his site. I'll put the site in the description. He has some that are pretty fun, and then there are a couple that I absolutely adored. He has Noi 2 Love and Noi 2 Love 2, Tripline, Chalk, Legend of Princess, which is kind of a play on Legend of Zelda, and the Iconoclasts. A lot of run and gun, well, not run and gun, but it's platforming and very combat focused platforming, especially in Noi 2 Love and Noi 2 Love 2. And one of the reasons I heard about this guy predominantly is because, well, a friend told me about this guy. And also, Noi 2 Love 2 is going to be up on Steam soon. All the games are free except for Noi 2 Love 2. Noi 2 Love 2 used to be $10 on the site, but now you can get it on Steam for $5. And everything else in his library here is free. And I absolutely love Chalk and the Iconoclasts. Unfortunately, the Iconoclast isn't finished. It's just a demo, but it's very playable and very fun, very polished. What's there? It's just not finished. So at a certain point, it'll truncate. And you can get all these games on his site, but it's just so polished, and the Iconoclast is a very polished game, and I like Chalk because it's such a different idea. This is a game that's controlled completely with the mouse, which I usually don't like, but it's kind of similar to a scrolling shooter, like as if you were a spaceship, but use the mouse to lay down chalk lines to destroy enemies, and it's kind of get a Kirby Canvas curse feel, but honestly I don't really know how to explain it. You have to connect bullets to other bullets to take out enemies, you connect bullets to the enemies. It's a really different idea. I definitely recommend checking it out, and the Iconoclasts. I definitely intend on purchasing Noi 2 Love 2. It's perhaps not my favorite of his lineup here, but definitely very polished, and I just want to give him money so he can finish the Iconoclast, honestly, because I think that might be one of the best games I've ever played, and I want to see a finished version. The last thing I wanted to talk about was the Humble Botanicula debut, which just started recently. It's going on for another 10 days as of the publishing of this particular video. And this is another Humble bundle that is in honor of the debut for a new game, Botanicula, click point and click adventure by the same guys that did Machinarium, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with if you're into that genre. Machinarium is a very good game, had a lot of style and charm to it, and some slightly challenging puzzles, at least for me. But then again, this isn't really my genre of choice. But I enjoy Machinarium. I'm not done it yet. But I've also tried Botanicula now, and it's really good. Machinarium gave me a bit of a challenge. Botanicula, at least for a fair chunk of the beginning, is a much more relaxed game and kind of click and see what happens. But again, there's a lot of attention to detail in this game, and the soundtrack is great. And like the other Humble bundles, this is pay what you want, and some of the money goes to the developers, some of it goes to the people that run Humble Bundle or Humble whatever they go, yeah, Humble Bundle, and some of the money will also go to the World Land Trust, which is a kind of save nature charity fund, which is always good. Donating is good, and these are games from the Amanita Design studio. So the bundle includes Botanicula and Machinarium, obviously, also Samaros 2, which I've never played, and if you pay over the average payment, you also get Cookie and Windowsill, which I've never played either of those. I think Cookie is a video. But the soundtracks for the games are also included for Botanicula, Machinarium, and Samaros 2, and I just think this is a really good thing. If you're into this genre, definitely check Botanicula out. Now that I'm farther, there are puzzles, and it's not just click and you'll go from point A to point B. You do have to do some searching and stuff, but it's a fun game. Anyway, that's what I found interesting in the last week of gaming. Let me know what you found interesting, and leave a comment, rate, subscribe, favorite, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video.